Boredar. Beautiful day at the end of October. So just out and about, having a gentle walk around this valley down here, looking at the sort of autumn colours and whatever. Just on something called the Wye Valley walk, which runs down the Wye Valley, obviously. Just climbing up one of the hills near Tintern. Just some male ferns. They give this woodland and woodlands in the UK this sort of tropical appearance, because the fronds go on often through the winter. If you get a mild winter, it's usually only snow that knocks them down. That gives this sort of like a tropical feeling. Common enough fern. Really nice walk this. We're just going up a very gentle sort of ascent, but it's going quite steep down to the valley, the Wye Valley below. We're in a bit of larch plantation. I don't know how widely known this walk is, whether you get many people on it. Yeah, everybody tends to do, the visitors tend to do the Offa's Dyke. I think there's one called the Gloucester Way as well. But this is a really nice path, what we've done so far. Just showing some of this cherry bark. What happens is the cherry trees aren't very long lived, and the trunks fall down and you're left with this bark, which is very resistant to decomposition. It hangs around in the wood. And what I tend to do, if you're building a shelter, if you get some really big pieces of this, you could put a bit of mud over it. You can make a nice waterproof shelter. You put that on a sort of teepee wigwam of branches, and then you put this over, and then you put some yew branches. You could put a bit of mud, just a bit of clay on it, and I think that would keep the water away. Trouble is with sheets of birch bark, it's quite difficult to get it off the trees in these woodlands in the UK. It's easy in further north in Finland and whatever, but it's hard here. So I find this is quite useful. And you can also use it to make an arrow quiver. You could even make shoes out of it. If you're in a real trouble and needed some shoes, it's really tough stuff. You get several layers of it, you could make a nice pair of moccasins. It's a little bit like leather. Getting some beautiful views now, just down across the other side of the Wye Valley. It just sort of sweeps right down, and we're sort of climbing up for about 140 metres. I don't know if that's like a 400, 500 feet or something. This must be an old green lane that we're walking through, and a really quiet walk, this place. Just my daughter walking up the incline here. This is just one of the tops of these sort of low hills that run along this valley. It's essentially a gorge. It's a wooded gorge, and a lot of rock slides and road is often closed when there's heavy rain because it brings down a lot of strata of huge blocks of sandstone and that. Just come off the Wye Valley walk, and now we're just come off at a place called Botany Bay, which may be something to do with convicts that went out to from the area, went out to Australia, and some of them may have come back in time. It's called Botany Bay. Now we're heading beyond the sort of back of Tintern. We're sort of doing a circle round the back of Tintern now, so this is a sort of green lane. So just come out into the open and the glade before we get back into some more forest. Just a beautiful sunny day. It's really nice. Just the sort of colours of the trees here. Just fabulous. Going up some inclines here. This is just one of these characteristic styles you get here. Blocks of millstone grit going up a bit on the slippery side. Another one of these styles of this solid millstone grit you get here. That's the sandstones that would have used to make grinding stones. I tell you what, there's certainly some steep inclines around here. You certainly get some exercise. Sort of reached the plateau top now at about 250 metres roundabout. That's just cutting across a mile, at least a mile in the distance. There's more woodlands, so we'll reach a sort of top of one of the plateaus here. Just come on a common here. I never knew it existed. It's got like a bogland with bilberry and heather and that. It's got some of the wildlife that's living here. And no, it's a common. I never knew it existed back at Tintern. We've just been trampling around trying to find a bridle way, just in the undergrowth. I don't think the bridle way is operating anymore, and there's some quite deep channels of muddy water, but luckily my daughter noticed a jogger. A jogger was sort of walking down this path, so we managed to get off it. Just stopped off for a bit of lunch, sort of getting towards lunchtime, so we're not far off the course of where they think the Roman road ran down from Monmouth to Chepstow. It's somewhere just where we're going to go up here. I've seen some estimations of where the track runs, and then it would have gone down in a steep valley and done the typical Roman sort of elbow they used to use. They used to do sort of like a Roman elbow going down a very steep incline. Then they stopped using this straight Roman road business. The other thing we're going to look for is a couple of Bronze Age tumuli, burial mounds, so we'll keep our eyes peeled on the next bit of a stretch. It's pretty warm stuff today, this time of, the end of October, just like summer. Just hear some ravens overhead. Just come on a wood ant's nest. These are the ones that make these huge mounds. This isn't a very big one here, but end of October they're still on the surface and pretty aggressive. If I make a sort of hole in here, then they would, on a hot day, they'd be all over the place, but they're pretty lethargic. There's the odd one, there's one there, and I don't want to get bitten by it. There's no point, but I'm wondering if this is where the Roman road went over. There's evidence of some nice sort of flat stones in the middle of this wood. There's another one over there, and it's nice and flat, and it's connecting with, it's directly on the route going down towards Chepstow, so I'm thinking this bit of flat forestry here could be where it is. Nobody knows, but it could be just under here, and it might not have been a very well constructed one. Some of them, of course, they've got the two ditches and a wide sort of agger, a sort of a raised causeway, but you know, there's no way of knowing what they did here. Just found the bigger of the two Bronze Age tumuli, and it is a massive one. It's coming up from the floor of the wood, all these stones climbing right up. You can see the sort of circular shape of it. So look at that, it's massive. Whether it looks like it's been robbed in the middle, this is the sort of the perimeter going round there, and then that's the middle. It looks suspiciously low, like somebody in the past has tried to dig it out looking for treasure. So Bronze Age, I guess this is something like 2,500 BC, coming up to about 800, 1000 BC. That sort of period when they were first using, commonly using metal, because of course there was a copper age much earlier. So this is just the back of Tintern, and it doesn't. I had to fight through some bramble. It didn't look like people. You know, you'd think. I guess you sort of think people would be coming in a lot and having a look at it and marvelling at it. But no, I had to fight through a bit of bramble to get to it. So I'm going to go and find the other one now, which is smaller. So this is fantastic. I just think of what the world was like when they were building this, and burying probably something like a local chieftain or sort of king or whatever of this area. The sort of ancestors of the Celts. Though that's a much misused description of the people. This is the other one, the slightly smaller one, which looks like it's been left alone, because the centre still sort of looks intact. I can't believe the Forestry Commission were actually planting. This is a mentality. Look at this. Actually planting trees on this. You know, these blow over and then they basically wreck it. So I can't believe that somebody's actually still, you know, whoever's running this forest, you can't just take these 2 or 3 trees off and give it a bit more protection. Anyway, bloody nice tumuli, you know. Look better in when we've had a bit of snow and you've just got the moss on the top. Be a bit more sort of dramatic, but I'm just on this huge pile of sort of stones. God knows how long it's taken them to sort of build this. Then obviously the remains of somebody are right down there under my feet, whether it's burnt bones or a skeleton or whatever from all those years ago. Anyway, we're now going to head off to Tintern area for a bit of lunch and a pint, I think. Just come across an old clay pit just behind Tintern, the most unexpected place. Don't know why it would be here, but you can see it's all just been dug out sometime in the past. It's got bulrushes and whatever growing in there, and look at that, lovely bit of clay there. So whether they be make tiles or pipes or whatever, I don't know. Bit of local history anyway. There's a lovely old path just on the way down to Tintern. Whether I get a shot of the abbey, but just look at this, it's like a sunken way, like a monk's, well, I guess it could be a monk's path or something, for use in bad weather. can't get over this path at the back of Tintern. It's really amazing. Like a really sunken way, like a hollow way, really deep. And look at the beech trees that are here, like sculpture. Pretty dicey. God. More of this stuff dropping down. It's just amazing, really. Very, very treacherous because there's all these slippery stones. Gets even worse. We've now got to go down basically a stream. We can start to hear the traffic in Tintern. But I haven't managed to get a view of the cathedral yet for a shot. Straight down at this point to a side valley. The side valley that comes into Tintern. I think all these tracks must definitely, these footpaths must definitely be something to do with the abbey. Just finally got a shot of the abbey just in the distance there. Couldn't see it through the trees coming down that bridge. We just had to cross the old railway bridge over the Wye to get any view of it. So that's the end of it, a walk. And now we're heading for the pub.